What's going on, everyone? Everything's looking good. We are live. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the live stream. The what is it? The series, the episodes, whatever it is we're doing here. Trying to build a company that generates $1 million in revenue every single year. We're about 10% there. So far, we've generated about 100K in revenue. Some of those are in the forms of contracts still yet to be paid. So, got to let that play out a bit. But doing it not too shabby for 6-7 months of existence in a business. So super happy about that. But we're going to keep plugging away because we have a lot to do. And speaking of that, I've been thinking just kind of a lot about the future of Pixel and like how I'm going to get to this point. And obviously it's centering around somehow the creative services, right? Whether it's web design, at least web design right now, but things could also be video production, audio production, and marketing services as well. And I'm really trying to think of how I could get to that point, as quickly as possible. So a lot of the things that I've been thinking about have been making videos that, talk about, that basically showcase my skills in the web design industry, right? So talking about, I made the whole list, right? Just informations on how to use Webflow, how to make a website, how to build websites, and whatever, which is great stuff to do. The thing with content generation is that I know that is more of a long-term game, right? Like it takes time to build out that audience, the memberships, the people that watch your videos, and to just kind of slowly build. It's like, building a snowball, and you got to roll it till eventually you can pull it down a hill or push it down a hill, and then the momentum takes care of itself, right? So how long is it going to take to get to that point? That's where I don't know, right? Is it 6 months? Is it 6 years? 2 years? 3 years? I don't know. But in the meantime, I have to go out and get clients. So obviously I put myself into this position right now, which is very good in that I don't have to think about where the next contract is coming in because I'm not going to starve like next month, right? So I have like I don't know exactly what the leeway is. I haven't calculated yet, but maybe a 12-month leeway, something like that, maybe even more, which is really, really nice. So I could not get another contract for a year and I'll still be okay. So that gives me time to focus on the, what am I trying to say? It gives me time to focus on generating the content and starting to make that snowball and starting to push it so that I can get some momentum, on YouTube or whatever social media platforms I decide to, focus on. But that's in no way a guarantee. So I think what I need to do, and this is where I've always had the problems when I've started a business, is that I never truly get out of my comfort zone and really push myself to doing things that maybe I'm not good at or I don't like doing, and also pushes against the things that that I've never really have done, right? So making YouTube videos, doing all that kind of stuff, yeah, I've done that so many times and I'm good at it, and I'll keep doing that. But how do I go out and reach, especially people in my community right now, here where I'm living in Halifax or Nova Scotia? How do I not endear myself, that's the wrong word, but how do I get myself known to people here about the work that I do and the work that I can do for them, right? And I think that's where sales comes into place, and building personal relationships, I think, or professional relationships. It's way more than just going out and building YouTube videos, which again, I'm going to do. I'm not saying I'm not going to do that. That's definitely one strategy. But I think I need to combine that with whether it's just reaching out to local businesses and finding out what their pain points are and seeing if I can help them, or just reaching out and making connections in general, right? I think there's got to be a lot of value to that. And I think I really need to figure out how I can get myself out of my technology bubble shell of things that I like to do with working in DaVinci Resolve, working in Webflow, working in code, all that kind of stuff. I know I can do that kind of stuff, but does anyone else know that I can do that kind of stuff? And the reason why I'm thinking about that is because, yes, I think getting myself out there on YouTube is a way forward, and that is going to be a path to bringing in customers eventually. I just don't know how long that's going to take. And if I can get to the point where I can get more clients faster, and I could bring on other people and really build like an agency and get that started as soon as possible, I think that is the way to go. Because there's certain things that I want to take care of and do by the end of this year and have put in place, where the only way I can get there is if I just need to bring in some more revenue. Because I want to be able to have someone else that can do the design work, that can do basically almost do the design work and the development work, design and maybe development work as well too. And then I could focus on doing other things that I know I want to do that's going to help my business even more. So, because a lot of times I find myself just doing busy in actually doing the customer work, right? So yeah, it's just something I've been thinking about, and probably dive into it a little bit more next week. And I think I had a discussion, I think it was probably about a month ago now, just thinking about different ways to reach out to people and just making quick videos to businesses and just letting them know what I could do to help them. So I think that's something that I should really look into doing, and maybe we can do that together. we could I don't know. I think that'll be a really good learning process. Again, getting out of the old comfort zone, right? And doing things that I traditionally haven't done. So that's going to be helpful. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Just a little bit of a preamble to today's episode. Something I've been thinking about. I really want to build Pixel Up. Again, I'm not saying build it as fast as possible, but I want to get to the point where I'm really bringing in new clients, people that are outside of my current, word of mouth bubble, getting more of those clients in the door and just helping them. Yeah. And I've been thinking a little bit, again, also about pricing as well too. And, there's something to be said about having, again, there's a specific price point that makes sense, right? But like if I'm having customers in the $5,000 to $10,000 range instead of the $50,000 range, having 5 of those come in, one of them coming in every month or what have you, that's still a good amount of income. And then you can offset that by hiring somebody to provide those services for you, pay someone a good 60 to 80,000 K a year salary. Meanwhile, you're bringing in, 20 to 40 K in new customers, a month, right? So anyways, things to think about, things to do. And if I bring in that many customers, I can't just take care of them all because I won't be able to keep bringing in those customers. And that's where the flow, the snowball effect, the building, like the YouTube and the other marketing channels, that's where it's going to really come into play, to be able to keep bringing in those customers by not having to go out there and do any kind of on the ground salesy type, things, right? Yeah. Another thing to experiment with could be ads as well too. That's another thing. If I know I can put in $1,000 worth of ads and they'll give me $5,000 worth of customers, well, that's pretty good, right? So that's something else to consider. Absolutely something else to consider. Okay. So today I have a very hard stop. Very shortly. Let me check my email here. I got to keep this open in case anything comes in. But I have a hard stop in like 30 minutes or so. So we're going to jump right into, where are we going to jump right into? Where we left off. Oh no, it's not on my screen. Where we left off yesterday. And that was, again, we're still working on our style sheet, or our style guide. And so what do we got? Yeah, we got a few different things. I think there's some more components that we wanted to make sure that we styled properly. They're not utilities. We'll call them. I guess we could just call them elements, because they're kind of what's built in, kind of like the buttons, which I kind of put in utility. Well, we'll keep them here for now. Okay, so what's next? We want to look at forms. All right. And I think one thing that we want to do, we want to add in a text area. And let's copy this label. Right. We're missing music. Let me get something going on here. Oh, Spotify just updated. Everything's a little bit different. Okay. Let's see. First things first. I mean, the button is just going to be the button, right? Or what did I call it? Button and then primary. See, I don't even like having like I feel number one, the padding on the top and bottom is off, and that's just because of the font. All fonts do different things here that are wonky depending on the line height. I don't know if you noticed that, but the difference between the top and bottom padding is off by about, looks like 2 pixels or so. Very annoying. But yeah, having to put button and button primary, that's really annoying. I think I might change that. In fact, I'm going to change that. And yeah, so I just had the background. Everything else is the same. Yeah, so I can get rid of that style. Okay, so all labels. I think it's 1.25. And the size of like a paragraph, it's going to be the same. That's the default size. So that's going to be the same for all labels. And do we want a margin? We'll keep things as no for now. How do we address the input fields? Right, okay, we're gonna have to put input field. And we're going to need to put in some padding here. 0.5. Up. 0.5. This is 0. And hold down Alt to grab just the top or the opposing sides and Shift for all of them. Okay. I think we might want, I like to have a little bit more padding. Oh, what's going on? Does it have a height set specifically? It's not. Right. So why is that padding? Oh, it's not adjusting the height of the input. field. I think that would, no, even that's not going to change the height. I think we just need to actually put a height on this field. So we want to give it a border, and what color? I feel like maybe black too. If the padding's not going to matter, then why even have one? Why set it? I have to go back and look at input fields. Input field. All right, that one's going to need it. But this is also a text area, which is going to need its own specific height. Should we make it 3 times the size? I like that. And I don't think there's other kinds of input fields. I mean, they're all going to be, well, the number one might be different. I don't know, it's still going to stay the same. I'm just going to have this. Yeah. Yeah, we're not going to get fancy at all with these input fields. Again, I think that's going to be more of a component thing. And what I'm thinking of is you can style, like checkboxes and... Actually, we should put those in. Checkboxes and radio buttons. And you could have different like drop-down navigations and selections and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I think we should just have like a default blank slate. And then anything else that we can come up with, we can put those into some type of component library. So let's have a selection field as well. Please select from the following. All right, so selection field. Can we put in an input field? We can, and then, but what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the background color is white. Let's take a look. There we go. That is fairly straightforward. But one thing we need to look at is the color of the text. And we're going to put that, do we want it black? It's hard to know what the text is going to be. Usually it's going to be black 1. So we'll put that in there. So if we look at this, yeah, it's not quite black, but yeah. And so, well, it's black 1. Okay. And what did we want as well? We wanted not a select. Like a radio. We need some radio buttons. Trying to think now what I want to do with the radio and select buttons. So this needs to be in a group. Yeah, it's not even, yeah. I haven't used the Webflow radio buttons very much. Flow radio buttons. Let's see. Yeah, they need to be in a group, which makes sense to me. You can select the choice value of each option, giving the same group name. Group name is radio. Yeah, all different. Okay, so let's call it. Boy. Is this important in the grand scheme of things? Like, is this important for our style guide to have multiple? Let's trim it to 2. And this is radio selection option 2. And this is radio selection option 1. And this is also, is this a label? It is a label, but how come it's not bolded? That's strange to me. That's very strange to me. Strange indeed. What could possibly be overriding that style? It says bold here, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's this radio button. No, that's not overriding it either. Oh, that is very strange. Anyways, let's just make sure. Oh, why are they not even working? I can't even click on them. The question that I'm having is, does it need to be inside this div tag here? This label needs to be assigned, doesn't it? Did I not? Did it go back in on its own? Oh, I guess you can't take it out. Okay. Checkbox is working, just the radio button is not. And why is that? And if it's required, that just means the form is not going to validate. If it's not selected, Custom Webflow checkboxes. Okay, I don't want to make custom ones. Okay, we're back to here. How do I get to section 2? There's no clickable thing. Yeah. They have the same group name, so I mean it should be working. So what's the deal? This Webflow 101 form.
We're moving right along. So far we can see we've built our nav bar, our hero section,
Let's see.
our logos, those cards we just made, and of course now it's time to build what could be argued is the most important spoilers. It's the most important part of or we can hold down Option or Alt and just click and drag on the field label. The key here is that we want the structure, again, we know it's going to go from looking like this to looking like this. We want that sort of horizontal design. So how do we do that? Well, let's actually take a look at the wrong way to do it, or what would happen if we try to do that now. First off, this is the form content wrapper. Let's make sure that's out of the form. Let's put that in the container. And it didn't look different, but the reason we're doing that is because we want to change some stuff on this form itself. So what do we want to change? We don't want these things vertical, we want them horizontal. And now we know how to do that because we're going to unlock the power of CSS Grid. No, it's Flexbox. We're going to press Flex. And when we do, it's
I'm going to argue between Flex versus Grid.
But not really. The reason is, it is, just as we're telling it to do, it's taking everything, all the children of the form, everything inside this form, and it's kind of stacking them horizontally.
Yeah,
we
they
did
need to be in
vertical,
their own
stack
containers.
want these things, we can group them together. We know how to do that. It's a div. Let's go in and add a div, and we'll just drop that div, let's just say anywhere in here, and we'll add 2 of these to this first div. So we'll add the field label, and same, we can go in here. Let's make sure we're adding, and actually come. No. So how do we fix this? Around each of the parent element things, each children, child, put way more simply, these are background and background elements. So if we turn that on, we can just hit the eye right there. We can see that if we go.
This is not helpful. You taken an exam? No, interesting. Ooh, I should get certified. Oh, well, this is really weird. Let's have a look at, I'm just going to go into here. All it's not even going to be available to be seen, so it's hidden right now. Okay. This doesn't have radio, just checkboxes. Well, that's not useful at all. Yes, leave. Do not save that. Oh my goodness. I'm like, why is that? Why? Why are you not? I mean, it can't be something stupid as like. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Not display. Position. Okay. Webflow. Check. No. Radio. Buttons. Not clickable. Radio buttons don't work in preview mode. I mean, have I published this anywhere at some point? I haven't published it. Well, let's give it a try. If that's the case. Okay, yeah, it's working. Oh, I can't unselect them. Why can't I unselect? I guess I have to refresh. Okay, so I guess it's true. They don't work in preview mode. Why not? I don't know. Like, why wouldn't you? And but there's a problem. Why could I select? I could select both of them. I should only be able to select one. Right? Like, that's not a radio. That's a checkbox. Let's have another one. Okay. Right. They have the group name. It's all the same. Radio. I mean, the default functionality of a radio button is that you should only be able to select one. Oh, look at that. It's working between these two. Maybe it was just something and that's what the hell. That's just weird. So let's just delete that. Maybe there's just something wrong with the first one? Somehow? This one is 4. 4. is this one selected? Two, three, four. Okay, now it's working. That, oh man. See, that's frustrating where something should work and then it doesn't. Don't know why. Everything seemed okay on this end. Unless there was some, if you saw something that was different that made it so that it should have worked, let me know. I'm very interested to hear. Okay. Okay. Jeez, oh, that was such a waste of time. Okay. So radio checkbox, is there anything else that I need to add into here? And again, too, there's a difference here between a style guide and an actual component. Because I'm trying to think about how to, design these things. But like, yeah, that's more of, like in terms of like the layout, right? But that's definitely more of a component. So this checkbox is a little bit weird. And that is not aligned nicely. That probably has to do with the checkbox itself. Which doesn't give me a selector of checkbox. Oh, that's annoying. I mean, it has styles associated with it, as you can see there, but you don't give it doesn't give you access to the element. Okay, checkbox then, I guess is what we're going with. And I can see there's a margin on top. Okay. That's also moving things around. And I don't want pixels. So 2 pixels is 0.0125 REMs. Looks like there's the same thing for the radio as well too. But with the radio button, do I get? No, nothing. This is going to require a little bit more finesse. And this label is also not bold. Why? I don't know. Is this the same? Yeah, that looks like it's aligned. Oh, does it look off by a pixel? Where's my zoom? Yeah, no, that's aligned. Okay. Yep. Checkbox 1. Okay. Where did, okay, what the hell happened to the button? When did I lose the submit button? Oh, that's weird. It's like I can't get it back. Can I drag this one to this one? I don't know if that's gonna work. Well, I guess the form itself doesn't need to work. Oh, button. Okay. We can't have. So where's the? There's another thing, an element that's the document upload, right? Like file upload. Where is that? Can I just have a list of all of them? Oh, you know what? It's probably not available unless you buy that premium version, because that's like a premium feature, allowing people to upload files. The only thing that's bothering me is how come this isn't bolded when it clearly is bolded. I don't know. Other than that, I mean, this is default, ready to go, ready to be styled in any project. So, yeah. Okay. Oh, right. Tabs and forms. I still haven't had that. Right. Layouts. Okay. Oh, we did the forms. Okay. So there we go. One less thing to do. Okay. I really hate doing this as I'm just getting into this thing. It's only been like 43 minutes. I have to end it here because I do have to run. I have to take care of some things today for the rest of the day. So short but sweet, I guess, today. Hopefully. Friday, I really want to get this done by Friday. So I'm going to do my best. Hopefully I can have a longer session on Friday, but we're gonna have to see how things go with client work. And yeah, we'll just see how it goes. But anyways, we'll for sure at least get to work on it. And if I'm not done by this Friday, then I'll probably work on it over the weekend. So that way on Monday, I could just release it. And then it's just, version 0.1 is out the door and ready for anybody to use. All right. So we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks for watching. As always, appreciate you. And hope you have a great rest of your day. All right.